Excuse me, sir. Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Excuse me, sir. Trump or Kamala?
Oh, Trump. All the way.
Excuse me? Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Excuse me, sir. Trump or Kamala?
Trump. Excuse me, sir? Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Excuse me, sir? Trump or Kamala?
Kamala.
Excuse me, sir. Trump or Kamala?
Trump.
Trump or Kamala?
Trump. Damn Kamala.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I gotta tell you guys, the streets have spoken. The streets have spoken. Because it seems as if every time I hear the streets talk about President Trump versus Kamala Harris, President Trump has the juice, okay? That President Trump is wildly more popular and supported among the streets than Kamala Harris. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, again, most street interviews that I see, even the ones in the mainstream little media, I'm not talking about the focus groups that they, go out and selectively bring back liberals and pretend that they're undecided, and then they all say, oh, well, I'm voting for Kamala because Trump bad, right? No, not those fake panels, okay? Not the fake polls. I'm talking about the actual streets. Yesterday, I did a video about Don Lemon confronting people in Atlantic City about Trump versus Kamala Harris, and all of them said Trump. Now you have an ABC reporter confronting a black woman in Kenosha, Wisconsin, about Trump versus Kamala Harris, and let's just say she got the same reality check that Don Lemon got. Take a look.
Like Pennsylvania and Michigan, Wisconsin is critical for Harris. 4 years ago, Biden carried Wisconsin by just under 21,000 votes, the closest margin of victory of the election. While our polls show support from black voters has swung 12 points in Harris's favor,
I'm leaning more towards Kamala.
Melody Davey has not bought in. Trump's rhetoric has clearly had an effect on her in an astonishing way.
Have you decided who you want to vote for?
Honestly, no. I'm leaning towards Trump.
And why is that?
A lot of the stuff Kamala says is kind of like what Trump has said, like no taxes on tips was something that was kind of reiterated by Trump beforehand. She's just kind of been caught up in a lot of lies.
Like what?
I think lying about her heritage was one of them.
You think she lied about her heritage?
Yeah, I believe she's just Indian. I don't think she's black.
She is always identified as black. She is half Indian.
Well, I think that's something we can definitely agree to disagree on.
And there was no convincing her otherwise.
Yo, these interviews will never get old, okay? When these mainstream liberal media propagandists like that woman and Don Lemon go out in the streets and actually talk to real people, the fact that they are stunned by these responses tells you just how out of touch these individuals are, okay? Because what that woman was saying was not any different than what a lot of black people feel, a lot of people feel in general about Kamala Harris, which is that, yeah, clearly she's still in Trump's ideas, right? We see that, okay? She's been caught up in a lot of lies, which that woman also pointed out, true, all fact. And also she says, well, Kamala lied about her heritage, okay? That, Kamala might not really be black, okay? Now, again, the media says that when Trump says these things and he simply just, says what most people are thinking out loud, oh, that's a bad thing. Okay, it's turning off voters. And I'm not saying that some white liberals might not get triggered by Trump talking about, whether or not Kamala Harris is black. Okay, I kind of understand that. But for the most part, he's saying things that people already think, right? That a lot of black people think about Kamala Harris. And we've seen this time and time and time again, while the media is saying, no, she's always identified as black. So now this is what they're going with. Pay attention to language. They didn't say she is black. They're saying she always identified as black, okay? That's not the same thing as actually being black. Now, all of a sudden, they're throwing Kamala Harris in the transracial category. Right? They're talking about Kamala Harris like she's trans, okay? No, you don't understand. You're bigot. Kamala identifies as black. They're not saying, no, Kamala is black, okay? Here's the proof and the evidence, okay? They can't do that because they don't have any, right? This is why. Wow, you can't make this stuff up. But anyways, The point is that there are people in this country who are not falling for the propaganda from the Democrat Party and their propagandists, which again, they will just blatantly lie to people at this point to your face. It doesn't matter how egregious the lie actually is. They will tell it. They will spin it.
She's the sitting vice president of the United States. A traveling press pool is with her at all times. That's why you do not see the majority of those in the media who are asking her for an interview, because they can speak to her at all times. Number two, Number two, the most important interview she's doing is with the American people. And that's why you see the polls responding the way they are in terms of who they prefer being the next leader of the free world.
I give you points for spin.
The polls are going to decide who the next president of the United States is.
The people are, and the people have not heard any answers from her on anything.
Well,
she's actually not answering questions from voters either. She's answering questions from nobody.
So who's going to decide the next nominee, the media or the people?
Well, the nominee
who would you rather interview with?
The nominee was not decided by your party's voters.
Who would you rather interview with for November?
You just asked me a question. Who's going to decide the next nominee?
Yeah.
Your party voted for a nominee and then threw him out by the elites. So that's
not true. He decided to step aside and gave the opportunity for Kamala Harris to be our nominee.
All of his own volition.
I tell you what, guys.
14 million votes.
In the house that Michael Jordan built here at the United Center. You're right, Guy. That was some spin, Antoine.
They will lie to you with a smile on their face, bruh. It's evil. It is. I don't understand how people don't see it. Like, golly, bruh. They will lie with a grin, a smile. That's what they'll do. They know they're lying. That's the crazy part. It's like, bro, you don't believe this. There's no way. You do not believe that Joe Biden just, gathered together with his advisors and he just decided all of a sudden, I'm going to step down, right? I can't do this anymore. After spending weeks saying, I'm not stepping down, I'm not going anywhere, and I've done such a great job, right? And Biden does such a great job, and he said he's not going anywhere, right? Even on the day that he dropped out, he said he was not going anywhere. Then why the hell did he drop out? Why? If he wasn't pressured by the Democrat elites to do so, if there wasn't a coup. Again, it's nonsense, right? It's complete nonsense. But this is what they do because they don't have a soul, right? Some of these people do not have a soul, man. You really have to sell your soul just to lie like this to the American people with a smile. With a smile. So that being said, this is why we have social media, right? This is why we have alternative media. This is why we have platforms where the American people themselves can speak out on the topics that they're being lied to about. Like, for example, illegal immigration and crime, okay? I actually was just talking to my cousin who lives in New York about crime. And, I mean, that's the first thing he mentioned. He was like, I don't want to live in New York anymore because the crime is out of control, right? And I said that, well, according to some people, aka the Democrats, that's a myth. But it's not. When you talk to real people, they're telling you, no, crime is out of control. But again, if you listen to the media, they say, no, crime is down, right? Same thing when it comes to the migrant crisis and the crimes and the things that are happening. And this woman from Denver, I believe, is going to expose what's happening with the migrant crisis and some of these Venezuelan gangs in Colorado.
So I'm not one to talk politics. Never have been. I try to stay out of those conversations. I've always respected what everyone feels and thinks. I still do. But I don't think a lot of you understand what's happening in our country right now, mainly because most of you don't live in a sanctioned city. I live in Denver. So the people that are living in these sanctioned cities, we are slowly losing control of our city, our cities, and the government's not doing anything.
Now, here's the thing. She's calling it a sanctioned city. So she's not calling it a sanctuary city. The point of me bringing this up is that clearly this is a normal person, right? This is not somebody that is a hardcore right-winger consuming a lot of conservative content, because if she was, she would have, said the correct term for what she's talking about, right? The cities that take in these migrants that do not help the federal government actually enforce our immigration laws. Yeah, the proper term is sanctuary city. So I'm just saying that as more evidence that what this woman is saying is sincere. This is not coming from a partisan perspective. This is sincere, like normal person, like, yo, this is what I'm experiencing.
Governor Polis in Colorado, he is not doing anything about the apartment complex that has been taken over by Venezuelan gang members that have come over illegally. They have robbed 10 gun shops in Denver in the past month. They are strapping up, and this is just the first step. They're seeing what they can get away with, and so far they've been in this apartment complex for almost a month. The police can't do anything about it. We haven't brought in reinforcements, and they're just living in this apartment complex they overtook, and no one's doing anything. What do you think they're going to do next? They're going to start overtaking more apartment complexes, more buildings, more facilities. What did our country think was going to happen when their time was up in the hotels we provided to them? I had a feeling they were going to start overtaking things, and that's what's starting to happen. It takes a lot to scare me. I've been to third world countries, never really been freaked out or nervous. Never thought that I would have to buy a gun to feel safe. And even when I get my gun in a couple days, I don't even know if I'll still feel safe, but at least I'll have a weapon.
Wow. Amazing, right? Amazing how that works. Again, clearly not some gun-toting right-wing woman, okay? No, this is a regular person saying, yo, what's happening is out of control. We have Venezuelan gangs taking over apartments, that they're just overrunning the city, okay? And the Democrats aren't doing anything about it. The officials aren't doing anything about it. They're just letting it happen. And this woman's so scared that she bought a firearm. Now, I don't know what firearm did she buy, but regardless, Democrats are trying to make it harder for people like her to get access to self-defense, right? This is what they're trying to do. But when it comes to illegals, as she just said, what are they doing? They're not going to the store and getting the guns the right way. No, they're robbing the gun stores, okay? They're taking the guns. They're getting the guns illegally. So in the Democrats' world, in their ideal world, it's going to be hard for somebody like her to protect herself from the illegals. But the illegals, it's going to be easy for them to get access to weapons and firearms to be able to cause harm to people like her who have to wait, okay? And again, have to jump through hoops in order to get access to a weapon, right? This is the world that Democrats want. This is what they want.
I've never been against guns, but I've also never thought that I'm going to need to buy a gun for safety. But here we are. Here we are. And if you don't live in a sanctioned city, I really, really encourage you to do some research and see what's happening to our country. I understand if you're a Democrat and you have your reasons, right? Abortion, you're pro-abortion and same-sex marriage. I'm fine with that. I understand we all have our own opinions and our beliefs, and that's important to a lot of you. But I hope you understand that although those are important topics when it comes to voting, if Trump or someone else is not in office other than Camila, whatever her name is, that stuff's not going to matter, because we will not have a country like we have now or have had. So it's not going to matter if abortion is legal or not. It's not going to matter if same-sex marriage is legal or not, because we're not going to have America anymore. It's not going to be the land of the free. It's not going to be what we have known our whole lives.
I mean, definitely not, right? Especially considering how you have Kamala Harris going full Venezuelan economics with her policies, okay? She's a communist, and not only that, you have the border being open. You have a lot of people from that part of the world coming into the country. Yeah, we're turning into Latin America, right? We're turning into Venezuela, okay? That is what's happening.
We're living in a very scary time right now, and a lot of you just don't realize it, mainly because you're not in a sanctioned city, which is great. I'm honestly happy that you guys are not living in a sanctioned city. But for those of us that are, you really just need to pay attention to what's happening, because soon they're going to leave the sanctioned cities, and some of them already have and have gone to different states, cities. So if you think it's only going to happen in these sanctioned cities, you're very wrong. It's eventually going to spread, but this is where it's starting, and they are slowly taking over Denver. It's happening right before our eyes, and no one's doing anything about it. If I would get pulled over on the side of the road and had guns in my vehicle or pounds of marijuana or cocaine, guess who's getting arrested? Me. Obviously, it's illegal. I'm doing things I shouldn't be doing. But these people are coming in, doing all sorts of illegal things, and not getting arrested, not getting kicked out of the country. We're handing these people money. We're handing these people tools to find ways and make it possible for them to overtake certain places and cities. I'm very nervous. I have a hard time even falling asleep at night right now because that's how nervous I am. And again, that's not like me. I am not typically someone who gets nervous or afraid. Homeless people don't freak me out. You know, you see the people on the streets tweaking out from drugs. That stuff doesn't freak me out. What freaks me out is these Venezuelan gang members that are overtaking the city of Denver. And I know it's happening in other sanctioned cities. And I feel like half of the world, half of America, half of the United States doesn't understand what's happening. And that's what scares me the most, is that it's just not known that this is happening.
Well, I mean, it's because the media does a terrible job at informing people about what is happening, okay? They don't want you to know what's happening. In fact, they lie to you and tell you the exact opposite. And like I said, in a situation like this with this woman, she's clearly not some political operative. Like, she's clearly a regular, normal person trying to understand what is happening in her city. Okay, and I don't think that she's coming at it from a partisan perspective. She's just coming at it from the perspective of an American citizen that is concerned, right? Like an actual normal person. And this is what normal people are saying. But yet you have Democrats in the media telling people, no, this is not real. This doesn't exist. And if you point it out, you're a bigot, right? I guarantee you, if this woman was to do an interview on MSNBC or CNN and she mispronounced Kamala's name while talking about illegal immigration and what's happening in Denver, and then she was like, whatever her name is, MSNBC, they'd be losing their minds, right? They'd be freaking out, more focused on that, okay, mispronouncing Kamala's name than the actual topic at hand, which is that because of Kamala and Biden's border policies, this is what you're seeing, okay? People are speaking out. They're saying enough is enough, okay? And they're taking to the internet and they're sharing their own personal experiences about illegals getting money, illegals taking over places, illegals committing crime. All of this stuff is happening, but the media and Democrats are telling you the exact opposite. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.